Now it's time to join Olamide Odekunle for Trending Now. And Olamide, today is Red Hand Day. We're talking about the plight of children who have had to act as child soldiers or who were forced into this matter of being child soldiers.
Good morning, Veronica. Good morning, Ibrahim.
Good morning.
I think it's absolutely sad. Even in the Democratic Republic of Congo right now, we're seeing a resurgence of child soldiers, and these effects, the psychological effects on these children, cannot be overstated. They go through a lifetime of PTSD and all sorts of psychological issues. We have to have value for children's lives because they are the future. They are not pawns of war or tools to be used for war. And I'm glad that UNICEF is shedding a light on this.
That's right.
All right, take it away then.
Thank you very much. Good morning. As usual, TVC has a finger on the pulse, and if it's trending, I am definitely going to be talking about it on here. In our first story, not so great, a heated altercation at the Nnamdi Azikiwe University, Awka, has gone viral after a female student allegedly slapped, bit, and assaulted a lecturer for interrupting her video recording. This is absolutely unacceptable. We're going to take some social commentary. This is the student in question, and she was making a video in what is clearly a public area. I'd love to take some social commentary on this.
Excuse.
I don't think there should be any reason why a lecturer and a student should be involved in any sort of physical altercation, but I'm going to take some social media comments. Someone says, Bliss Family says, train up a child in the way of the Lord. Ebu 12 says, you've graduated, but your name will not be on the convocation list. Miss Ginica says, and this man does not have problem at all. He's my lecturer. Dovi's Natural says, wow, this generation has lost it. Oh my God. Freddie says, very mannerless child. She should be rusticated. Somto says, I'm sorry for that girl who slapped and tore a lecturer's shirt in UNIZIK today. First of all, I know that lecturer to be a very calm and respectful man in Faculty of Arts, but the devil decided to use that young lady today. Tommy says, he asked her to delete the video he appeared in, then she slapped him. He asked, but then she slapped him just like that. Something must have happened in between. Now, reports are saying that her mother is a lecturer, and maybe that's what gave her the impetus to stand toe-to-toe with a lecturer. But it's clear that the respect that we have in these institutions, in schooling institutions, is eroding. The respect that we have for our lecturers. Back in my day, this could not have taken place. Something happened. How did we go from her making a video to biting and slapping? There must have been an in-between, and I hope that that is clarified as we proceed. In our next story, the Bayelsa State Governor, Duye Diri, has denied viral claims that he secretly fathered a child with Big Brother Naija Season 5 star Nengi Hampson. Now, this speculation spread rapidly on social media on Monday after reports surfaced linking the governor to Nengi's pregnancy. However, both Nengi and Governor Diri's offices have since debunked the rumor, dismissing it as false. It's important to clarify these things. I want to see what they had to say, word for word. And this is Nengi's statement. She says, as much as I believe social media lies aren't worth my time, I've come to accept that we live in a world where people are quick to spread lies without limits. So let me be clear, I am not pregnant for any governor. I'd love to take Governor Diri's statement right now. They are both vehemently denying this. And frankly, I don't think it's our business. I don't think we should have a say in this, but it's trending. One user says, Nengi can born for whoever she wants to born for. Her body, her choice. How can the ordinary man eat 3 times a day? These are the real questions that we should be asking, guys. I'd love to see Governor Diri's statement up here, please. And this is from his spokesperson, his DG for New Media. He says, BBN Nengi trending story has nothing to do with Governor Diri. Political enemies of His Excellency, Senator Duye Diri, Governor of Bayelsa State, are at work again. What a wicked set of people spreading falsehood on a day the Prosperity Administration commenced activities marking its 5th anniversary. This is a very, very salacious story, I have to say. Veronica and Ibrahim. I'd love to hear your thoughts particularly. I'd love us to hone in on this UNIZIK incident that happened.
That's right.
It's unacceptable.
Yeah,
Totally unacceptable. It goes to show where the state of values that we have inculcated in our children. I mean, bringing up a child that does not understand respect is concerning as it is. And we see that with a lot of young people in this generation. I mean, it's just a TikTok video and it's a public place. He has a right to move. He has a right to walk. And you do not take his permission or ask his permission to say, you know what, I'm doing a video. Please, could you find another route so that I can record? It's just a video. For goodness sake, it's just a video. So going to the extent of biting, fighting, it's a sad one. And even if a mom is in that university as a lecturer, does that give her the right to fight another lecturer who might be someone else's father?
I'm curious, Ibrahim. They said that the man passed her and then came back after he realized that he was in her recording and said, you have to delete that video. Do you think in that way it tramples her rights as a digital user?
It still does not give her the right to fight him or bite him, whatever it is.
Well, whatever the situation would be, I'm just trying to swallow my anger because I'm angry on the man's behalf. Because how can you, as a lady, for instance, a student, regardless of whether your mother or your parents is a lecturer in that university or whatever university, even if you're a daughter of the president of the United States, it doesn't behove you to, attack an elderly. Where do we keep our self-respect? Where do we keep our, the kind of home training that we are supposed to get? What is happening to this generation? You're doing video and someone passed you by, excuse me, I heard the lecturer said, excuse me. Imagine the lecturer had gone back to the lady and hit her or held the lady. It was just calm. Kudos to the man, but it was just calm. But that lady must be taking, I don't know, she must be, because you're doing social media video. What are we even thinking? The school has to come hard, very hard on this matter and decide how are we treating our students, how are we training our students. Learning and character, knowledge and character is what universities are supposed to impart in the lives of students.
Lecturers who are devoting years of service to these institutions are already underpaid, are already feeling the constraints of the educational system.
See, whatever the circumstance is around the lecturer is not the issue here. It's about values. As far as I'm concerned, it's about values. If she couldn't think in the direction you are going, then she should also know respect is it does not regard whether you are whoever you are. It's for the young, it's for the old, it's for the elderly, it's for everybody, and you should hand that to as many people as you can each day. But if the university does not come hard on her, then there is a problem.
But I want to give some credit to the Gen Zs here, you guys. In the video, if you watch it closely, if you do a playback, you will see that her colleagues, her mates are stopping her and saying, you are wrong, stop it. They're holding her back, they're chastising her. Yeah. And so perhaps it's not a generational problem, but it's more.
If she has done that to a lecturer, how much more if a fellow student? Absolutely. What would have happened? She would have raised the heaven over the person's head?
And to Nengi's story, I think that we should mind our business.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's the second basis.
I don't plan to come up here on a Wednesday and talk about somebody's pregnancy.
As long as Nengi is not complaining and the governor is not complaining, no one should complain on their behalf. Whatever it is, they said that story is not true. So second base, Olamide, as Mr. Miron was saying.
I'm so curious. Why do you think this type of stories trend? Why do you think that there's 20,000 views on these types of stories? If
gossip.
You guys have to break it down.
Gossip sells.
It's basic. Gossip. People just want to gossip. People just want to know what's going on in your life. I'm sure a lot of persons are coming to your page, following you because they want to see what's going on with you right now that you're always on the air. So that's what it is about. Social media. Everybody wants to know what's going on with you. And so if you want to mind your business, do so.
Hopefully I give them something good to talk about. Moving on now. In our next story, the Lagos State Governor, Babajide Sanwo-Olu, has announced the end of the work from home policy for state government employees, effective from the 31st of March. Now, the remote work initiative was initially introduced to ease the economic burden following the removal of the petrol subsidy. However, the governor's decision aligns with the implementation of a new minimum wage in the public sector. It's a sad day for people who have been enjoying at home. Ike Pentecost tweeted, better. You can imagine that someone will stay in their compound and be pressing phone and computer from morning till night, also bringing in different ladies and be claiming work from home. My question is the work getting done? Olamide tweeted my namesake. She says, people who travel abroad and are still collecting salaries will not be happy with this. It's a very good move by the governor. And finally, Zoe Adiola says, without any palliative in place and with the deceitful minimum wage they claim to pay, I do have to say that even with the implementation of the new minimum wage, is this enough to alleviate the commuting costs of people within Lagos, so much so that he's scrapping remote work? Is that minimum wage going to handle their transport and handle all the constraints of commuting within Lagos? This is the question that we have to ask, but hopefully he has a solution for that. In international news, Pope Francis is trending for a letter he wrote to American bishops strongly criticizing the Trump administration's aggressive deportation policies. In the letter, the Pope is warning that expelling migrants solely for being undocumented strips them of their dignity, and he says it will end badly. Now, the Pope has always championed the rights of migrants, urging nations to welcome, protect, and integrate those who are fleeing violence, poverty, and environmental disasters. A very compassionate Pope. I'd love to take some social commentary on this. Pope Francis himself, His Holiness, tweeted, I ask you to be vigilant against the temptation to cultivate a warlike spirit. Be vigilant lest you be poisoned by propaganda that instills hatred, divides the world into friends to be defended and foes to be fought. Some of the best leaders are extremely empathetic. Cernovic tweeted, did you open the gates of the Vatican to all refugees yet? Evan Kilgore says, Donald Trump should send the millions of illegal aliens flooding the United States to the Vatican in response to Pope Francis's letter condemning mass deportations. Now, there has been a lot of criticism, and finally, Ubermensch says, the Good Samaritan didn't give away someone else's job, tax dollars, neighborhood, or safety. He paid for everything himself out of his own funds. Maybe the Pope should meditate on the parable for a little bit longer. For you to come against the Pope in these kind of tweets, you have mind. But I will say the Pope has been facing a lot of criticism because the Vatican walls, which were instilled in the 19th century, are extremely, extremely high. There's a lot of areas that are secluded, and a lot of areas in the Vatican are secluded and not allowed. The public is not allowed to go in there. They're very known for being private. And people are saying, you want to protect the Vatican's assets and the Vatican City. Why can't America do the same? Ms. Veronica and Ibrahim, I'm curious to hear what you have to say about these stories. And I really would like us to hone in on these remote work policies because I know I love a day off.
We all do love a day off, but if the state government has said, come back to work because we have put every measure in place for you to return to work, then I think there's nothing wrong with it. They've enjoyed it for so long. I think it started in 2020 during the COVID or something, and they have said that they should have enjoyed it for a good time. The government has said, we have given you the minimum wage, we have given you every sort of palliative that you need. Perhaps measuring performance have become a challenge, and so they're asking, you know what, come to work, let's see you, let's measure you. But
presence doesn't automatically mean productivity, would you agree?
It may not translate to productivity, but then we need to measure your output.
That's right. Well, the thing is, work flexibility and minimum wage increase should not be mutually exclusive the way I see it, because if you look at what the world is doing now, they're moving towards hybrid kind of work environment. People that have been home, working from home, there is this work-life balance they've actually inculcated. So they should check those who are delivering. How are we doing our KPIs? Are they delivering on the obligations at work? So the fact that they have to come to office, it's not a problem. The fact that they've also increased the wages, has that taken care of so many things? So many things have actually gone up, especially in this Lagos state. So I feel the government of Lagos state should, look further into this. I'm not saying that people should stay back at home, like others are saying, having friends coming to you, sleeping on the bed or whatever, but they should also have redefined their KPIs as to how is it for people
so
that are working from home.
I'm playing devil's advocate here, but do you guys think that the constraints that the average Nigerians face when they're working from home are harder compared to the Western world? I mean, we have light issues here. Lights will go off. You have to charge your phone.
Well, you just said
by
it
the
all.
time you.
So it depends on your role. For instance, TVC is also implementing. It's also looking to implement this kind of policy. I think it's even in place one way or the other. But unfortunately for Veronica and I and yourself, I don't think we can work from home.
We can't work from home for now.
But
yeah. In the nearest future, we may be able to achieve that because we saw some organizations, media organizations, achieve that during COVID.
Yeah,
so perhaps we can look into that. But ensuring that the KPIs are the performance is measurable, flexible, are redefined in such a way that even if you work from home, it's measurable and can also achieve productivity is critical.
And I also support PayPal, you know, for his comments, you know, as regards, you know, what Trump is doing. I'm not against Trump, you know, deporting people. I just believe that there are ways of going about this. But you're pushing people out of your country. You're asking other countries to take in Palestinians, you know, Egypt, Jordan, Saudi Arabia, etc., that they should take in all of those, people away from their ancestral homes. You want to take over Gaza, but you don't want people to come into your country. Come on, make it make sense, please.
That's his decision. He's the president of the country and can decide whatever it is he wants to do. So you guys should deal with it.
With the Trumpies.
Anyway, this is how we come to the end of the program for today. Thank you.